Good morning, delegates, child and youth care workers, all those that have registered for conference. My name is Elwin Gallant. I am the National Chairperson of the NACCW.
Good morning, colleagues. It's a pleasure to be in this house together, even though we are at different corners, but we are in one house and enjoying this conference together. My name is Sibongile Mzulwini. I am a regional manager of the KZN in the NACCW. It's my pleasure to be a delegate of this first virtual conference of the NACCW.
Thank you, Sibo. We will take our mask off. We just want to show you our beautiful masks, but for the sake of transferring our beautiful voices, we would just take it off. So welcome to the 23rd biannual virtual conference. This is the first time we're having a virtual conference. We had a few glitches here, technical glitches, and we apologize. But I think as time goes by, things will run smoothly. We welcome you as FICE South Africa and NACCW. From our studio here in Durban, we have our directors and all staff is on standby to render support and assist. If there are people not yet connected, they are welcome just to send an email, and we will gradually, hopefully, have everybody connected as the day progresses. We have an interesting program lined up for you, and we know that everybody will enjoy this conference. Please wear your mask, social distance, sanitize, and let's keep the protocol going forward. I trust that everybody has also received our beautiful mask as gifts to promote champions of hope in challenging times.
Yes, colleagues, this is the conference. This is really the conference. There is no other way. It is what it is, and we have delegates in the house attending this conference, and we will start introducing our delegates. We have delegates from home in South Africa. All provinces are represented, and we have our international delegates attending as well. We have our youth as well attending the conference, and we'll give you a feel of who is in the house. And we'll start with Eastern Cape. Welcome, with 86 delegates attending the conference.
We have from the Free State 24 delegates. Welcome, Free State.
We have Gauteng attending the conference with 149 delegates. Welcome, Gauteng.
And here from KZN, we have KwaZulu-Natal, 399 delegates. Welcome, KZN.
We also have Limpopo attending the conference with 29 delegates. Welcome, Limpopo.
From Mpumalanga, we have 18 delegates also attending this conference. Welcome, Mpumalanga.
We would also like to welcome Northwest with 7 delegates.
And there from the Northern Cape, we've got 98 delegates from the Northern Cape. Welcome, Northern Cape.
And we also have Western Cape with 153 delegates. Welcome, Western Cape. We will move now to our international delegates. We have Australia represented by 2 delegates. Welcome, Australia.
All the way from Austria, we've got 2 delegates. Welcome, Austria.
We have Brazil represented by 2 delegates. Welcome, Brazil. And we also have Bulgaria with 1 representative. Welcome.
From Canada, we have 12 delegates. A warm welcome, Canada, to our conference.
We also give our warm welcome to India with 3 delegates and Israel with 1 representative.
From Kenya, we've got 2 delegates. Welcome, Kenya.
We have Lesotho with 5 delegates. Welcome, Lesotho.
From Namibia, we've got 4 delegates. Welcome, Namibia.
We welcome Netherlands with 3 delegates, and we also welcome New Zealand with 1 delegate.
And from Sweden, we have 3 delegates. Welcome, Sweden.
We have United States, we have United Kingdom with 3 delegates. Welcome, United Kingdom.
And United States, yes, United States, all the way from the US of A. We've got 2 delegates. Welcome, United States.
And lastly, we have Zambia with 7 delegates. Welcome, all colleagues.
We also would like to welcome our young people. They also have their virtual conference, but they're also part of our opening session. And our youth all over South Africa, young people, we have got 240. And we say very welcome, young people. I know you're energetic, and where you are, please enjoy this conference. We will hear from you on tomorrow afternoon when you're going to share with us also your input to our conference. Welcome.
Indeed.
We also have understand that in some provinces we've got our child and youth care workers gathering at some of our child and youth care centers and other institutions where they come together with what we call a watch party. And we know that you're going to have fun and enjoy it there. So we want to welcome you there in your watch parties. Please enjoy. Sibo, you counted how many delegates do we have for conference?
I will tell you now.
Okay.
You don't have the number with you.
I think you shared 1,256. Is that correct?
Yes, that is our current number.
Yes, it's a great achievement, and it's the first time we're all virtual. I'm so happy, and I feel much younger and beautiful since I'm virtual here in the studio. Let's give ourselves a round of applause for 1,256 delegates attending conference.
Wow.
Quite an achievement. If you struggle or if there's any challenges, please connect to the NACCW conference email and share whatever challenges you have. It is a tradition in the NACCW that at our conferences that we always light a candle as part of sharing our hope, and this candle will be burning throughout the conference. As National Chairperson, I will symbolically light the candle, and then we also will share with you the candles that have been lit by our chairpersons in all the provinces.
Thank you for that cultural activity that has just performed. I think we all able to make sense of it and to connect and embrace it, all of us as colleagues. With that done nicely, we now are moving to an activity of remembering those who passed on. The colleagues that have been with us in the social services profession and who couldn't attend this conference today, since they are no longer with us. Then what else we'd like to announce is that as this is happening now, it will be an ongoing process and it will be running ongoingly. And we would like people to add the names on the chat box for more colleagues that has passed on. very much for playing that video. It is so touching, colleagues, and it's one of the things that we feel so hurting in a way that there is nothing we can do about it. But keeping on remembering our colleagues, I know somehow, somewhere, we will find the place to let go. Can we have a moment of silence for a little bit? Thank you. Our next item is our children's item. We have our children. We are social services practitioners, and we are proud of our children. We are proud of our work done with our children. We are proud of confidence and all the good work, talent, and strength that we see in our children. We have our first children's item from the SANCRC. They call themselves Santi on the Moon. We'll play the video of them performing for this conference.
The young people will share with us after the somber note that song that's going all over the world, Jerusalem, and it's going to give us a little vibe for us as champions of hope. Wherever you are in your watch parties, you're welcome to stand up and jive and dance with them as they share with us Jerusalem.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Jerusalem, ikhaya lami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Jerusalem, ikhaya lami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Dawo yami ayikholana, buso wami awukholana. Ilondoloze, zuhambe nami. Dawo yami ayikholana, buso wami awukholana. Ilondoloze, dawo yami ayikholana, buso wami awukholana. Ilondoloze, zuhambe nami. Dawo yami ayikholana, buso wami awukholana.
Now we'll move on to our colleagues who will be giving us the messages of support as this conference and as NACCW.
Our first message of support is from our NACCW patron, Dr. Don Mattera, He's always here and would like to share with us and inspire us and our young people with his message.
Beyond words, a poem for this child. Hierdie kind lomntwana. We are a great organization. God is smiling from heaven now. When you see all these angels sitting in here, and I'll take this word to say, beyond words, take us to a new world, a new place, a new time, where the noise and the crush of cannons and death lie subdued in the living arms of an enduring, endearing peace, cuddled by the healing soft rains of children's free, fresh laughter. Beyond words, to the deeds of human affirmation, to the right of a better life, a better earth, among better people, for this child of today and this child of tomorrow. Beyond words, beyond the clang and the clamor of cliches and gods who call children to die in their name, for their flags and their anthems and their ideologies. What a screaming shame. Beyond words, let the hearts who still care for the fate of the child and of the human family fashion a bread of human succor in foundries fervent with healing compassion and caring, giving love without the haste of vengeful disdain. Beyond words, raise this child, lomntwana, that child, Wanone, all children in need and indeed, lifting and loving and raising them to endearing endearment fashioned by a healing compassion, a healing consciousness for the human heart, the human soul of the human child, beyond words, beyond moon to the healing, feeling deeds, beyond words, beyond the tyranny of the gods of bling. Let those who care in the private spaces of their inner beings declare publicly, lomntwana, hierdie kind, our child, their child, all children in all countries of the world must be saved, will be saved, beyond words. God smiles from his heaven now, how you have gathered to affirm the child. On your marks, get set, ready. Before you go, turn around to see who you can take with you.
We have Mr. Martin Stabrey, the Chief Operating Officer from the CYC-Net, giving us a message of support. We can listen to that now.
Good morning, colleagues. Good afternoon, colleagues. Good evening, colleagues, wherever you are around the world. Thank you for the invitation. On behalf of Dr. Heather Modlin, the chair of CYC-Net and the board of governors of CYC-Net, it is an honor and a privilege to be part of this conference. I have to say that on a personal level, I'm in awe that you decided to take on hosting a conference, a virtual conference of nearly 1,300 people. I remember that back in the mid-80s, I ran the entire delegate registration desk for, I think it was the 4th or 5th biennial conference at Cape Town High School. I think it was 1983 or 1985. And things have certainly moved on since then. So I applaud you for following through with this and running this conference virtually. The NACCW and CYC-Net have a shared common history in that both our founders, Brian Gannon, who unfortunately has been very sadly passed away 4 years ago, would have been proud of this day that the organizations that he both loved so much could come together to share for child and youth care colleagues around the world. I have to say that 1,256 delegates is extremely, extremely impressive. The NACCW conferences, as you well know, are the go-to event on any child and youth care workers calendar. They rather uniquely generate a feeling of connection, a feeling of being in a family and of bonding that I would say it achieves more than any other grouping or conference in the world. It is a truly unique event every 2 years. And the NACCW should rightly be proud that it continues after 44 years. And long may it continue. The NACCW also is supported strongly by CYC-Net's members of CYC-Net's Board of Governors, many of whom will be presenting at this conference. Later today, our chair, Dr. Heather Modlin, will be delivering a keynote, and I urge you to attend that. To end, I just again have to say that I'm in awe that right through, when I was in Durban 2 years ago at the Durban conference, if I had said to anybody that you would be sitting in front of your computers or your smart device watching the biennial conference virtually, you would have thought that I would probably have gone mad. But the world is quite a changed place in the last 2 years. And I salute the NACCW for continuing its biannual conferences virtually. Thank you. And again, thank you for the honor and privilege of being part of the opening of your conference for 2021.
We have now a representative from the South African National Children's Rights Commission. The NACCW is also part of this group. There's 130 organizations part of it, and we would like to welcome Ms. Patricia Martin, who will also share with us a message of support. Welcome, Ms. Patricia Martin.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for the opportunity to share a few words of support on behalf of the South African National Child Rights Coalition, which the NACCW is indeed not just a part of, but a very strong driving member. If you will allow me, because I'm speaking on behalf of the coalition of 130 organizations, I would like to just share a few slides, including our contact details. I see that I'm not able to share my slides. Would it be possible for the organizers just to allow me to share my slides?
Ms. Martin, are you still live?
Yes, I'm asked if the organizers could allow me the option to share my slides. It says that the sharing function has been disabled.
Technical support to respond.
Okay, I suppose rather than spend unnecessary time waiting for that, I will just speak to my slides. They do have there are a number of contact details on, and I'm hoping that we will be able to share that. But just in brief, the South African National Child Rights Coalition is in fact a coalition, a civil society coalition of more than 130 civil society organizations, activists, and children who share a common vision. And this vision really ties in incredibly well with the conference theme of Champions of Hope in Challenging Times. We certainly have had challenging times. COVID-19 has, as with all the crises that we experience over time, shown us both the best and the worst of society and ourselves. It has shown the resilience and the innovation of the thousands of women, men, families, and child and youth care workers, amongst others, who have worked hard to ensure that children continue to receive the care and protection as their safety nets fell away in the period of COVID-19. However, what it did also show us is that the crisis revealed a number of cracks. It showed us the need for urgent action in our country, South Africa, to be more proactive and strengthen our national childcare and protection system, which must be a robust, resilient system that, regardless of the circumstances and regardless of a particular change in environment or social economic crisis, it must be capable of ensuring that every child receives and continues to receive the nurturing care that they need, not just to survive, but to thrive. That is, to develop to their full potential. We salute those who filled this gap in the period of COVID-19, because COVID-19 laid bare the very deep cracks in our national childcare and protection system. Just to give you a little bit of an example, before COVID-19, 60% of children in South Africa lived in multidimensional poverty, which meant that they were already not receiving the necessary care and support they needed, not just to survive, but to develop. Critically, they were not accessing social security, the adequate social security they needed, nutrition, health, as well as education from birth. And then critically, the issue of protection. What happened when COVID-19 arrived was that the very fragile system that we had in place was not able to withstand the onslaught. And many, many more children fell through those gaps, increasing that number to 70 or 80% of children in our country who were experiencing multiple deprivations. And we, as the South African National Child Rights Coalition, salute those, including the thousands of child and youth care workers who filled the massive gaps that exposed children to deeper deprivations and set back their equality and development over the last 2 years. However, our work does start now. We have to work collectively to prevent a similar scenario from the one we saw in the last 2 years with regards to children. And we need to do this by strengthening the national childcare and protection system so as to recover and get back on course to eradicating poverty and inequality. This can only be achieved by ensuring that all children, especially the most marginalized, are nurtured to develop to their full potential. And this in turn requires that our system secures comprehensive support to ensure every child receives the combination of services required to develop. I like to say that what we really need to do as a country is stop counting cucumbers. And I use this analogy because I think all of us are sitting in the post-COVID period, and I imagine we have all put on a little bit of weight. We are far less fit than we were. And we need to recover and get back on track to living healthy lives. We all know that what it takes to get back on track to live healthy lives is to eat a healthy diet, which includes cucumbers, but it includes a balanced diet. We do need to have lean protein. We do need to have fruit and vegetables. We have to exercise. We have to refrain from engaging in risky behaviors such as smoking and alcohol abuse. However, if there are those of you like myself, we know that cucumbers are a very good source of fiber and very good in a weight loss program. And we have been consuming cucumbers by the dozen. And we are horrified that we have not managed to shed the post-COVID pounds and we are not back on track to recovery. Because in fact, all we've done is we have just continued to increase our cucumbers. We've neglected the other pieces, the exercise, the lean protein. And sadly, that has been the situation for children in the country. We have invested massive amounts of money in improving sanitation, yes. However, when we look after 30 years, we have 60 to 70% of our children who remain at risk of poor development because of multiple deprivations. We really have been doing no more than buying and counting our cucumbers, and we are not seeing the results that we need to see for children, and time has come to stop. And this in turn requires sustained multi-sectoral advocacy if we are to provide that comprehensive package for families and children. And it is for this reason that we have established the South African National Child Rights Coalition. It is a multi-sectoral platform for collective, coordinated, sustained advocacy and communications to direct our collective resources to ensure that all children receive the combination of developmental care they need, that they no longer just receive cucumbers and we stop just counting cucumbers and patting ourselves on the back, so that we can work together to see a significant reduction in the proportion of children at risk of poor development, especially the most vulnerable, in the next 5 to 10 years. The NACCW has been engaging in this process of moving away from counting cucumbers for many years. The child and youth care workers have played an enormous role in forging a strong, comprehensive safety net. And in this regard, they have become a partner and a long-standing member of the coalition and management team, as well as a strategic driver as we go forward. They have helped us engage in collective advocacy to strengthen the child rights governance system. And we see this conference as a catalyst for strengthening our unity of purpose and the child rights governance system. And as the South African National Child Rights Coalition, we wish the National Association of Child and Youth Care Workers the greatest success for this conference. But the work has just started, and we must make strides in moving forward with urgency under the hand of an inclusive, broad-based civil society movement. And to this extent, we invite all participants in this conference who share the vision of the South African National Child Rights Coalition, that is all NACCW members, its partners and its friends, to join the South African National Child Rights Coalition. The joining process is quite simple. It's to complete a membership application form, which I have on a slide, and I will share with the organizers to share the slides and the invitation link with all participants, so that we can take forward the thinking that takes place today and bring it into a wider civil society movement for strengthening our child rights governance system. So on that note, I wish the NACCW and all participants an incredibly successful, fruitful, and catalytic conference. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Patricia Martin, for your message of support. We really appreciate, and the touching on collective or integrated strategies that brings us together despite of the COVID-19 that interrupted our normal system, but moving to the new normal together, it helps us to always put the child at the center despite of any other distractions, including COVID-19. Thank you so much for that kind of support. Then we have Miss Christina Gibson video that we should be playing now because of our technical problem, we will skip that, and our technical team will let us know when we're ready to play it, and we will move on to our next speaker.
We would like to welcome Mr. Simon Peter Otieno from Kenya. He's the FICE Africa representative that will also share with us a message of support. Peter, welcome, and we would like to hear from you all the way from Kenya.
A bit.
Okay, thank you so much. And to the distinguished young people present and represented in this meeting, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of FICE Africa and on my own behalf, allow me to say a word of jambo from Kenya to this very honorable biannual gathering. Ladies and gentlemen, I call it honorable because it is that time of the year where in other circumstances we get the nourishment and hope from Dr. Don Mattera's. The conference normally come with the care of Zenius, the reasonings of Barry Lodge, the focus of Mal, the appreciation of Donald, the soberness of Elwin, and the celebration of child and youth care workers around the world. It is the dream of FICE Africa that also began in South Africa sometimes in February 2014, that was attended by Zambia, South Africa, Kenya, and with representation from Lesotho, West Africa, Ghana. I must say that it is a special occasion on behalf of FICE Africa to participate in this honorable conference. The conference is much honorable because it again reminds the FICE Africa of its focus of initiating discussion on issues affecting children in the continent. It also creates a united voice in the field of child and youth care work in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, the focus of this conference helps FICE Africa in supporting its development and exchange of models, knowledge transfer, and further collaboration. We are excited as FICE Africa to be part of this moment, and as we appreciate the organizers of this event, especially during these tough times of COVID-19, we are aware that together we are going to achieve the objectives of the conference. I will take this opportunity to invite us to the FICE conference that will be happening in Senegal sometimes next year. And we also appreciate the collaboration that FICE Africa has had as a whole. I know so much is still in the plate for us, and we will need the efforts of all child and youth care workers to bring Africa to its real position of child and youth care work. I urge all the learning institutions in South Africa and in Africa as a whole to put the knowledge transfer in their agenda list in ensuring that the good practices are spread across Africa. I also want to acknowledge the efforts of the University of Western Cape and with the effort of FICE South Africa of bringing together Maseno University at the forefront of knowledge sharing. On behalf of FICE Africa, I appreciate and wish the conveners of this conference all the best, and also appreciate the work of child and youth care workers in Africa and all around the world. Thank you so much. Sorry, my camera did not work because I am in the field where children are playing a lot, and we are together in this. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
That we will now receive from the Chief Executive Officer of the Health and Welfare SAHRC, Ms. Elaine Brass, that will also share a message of support with us. Welcome, Ms. Elaine Brass, and we would like to hear from you from the Health and Welfare SAHRC.
Good morning, and what a pleasure it is to give a word of support to this very important conference today. So in terms of that, I just would like to remind the viewers that the Health and Welfare Sector Education and Training Authority also has a mission. And our mission is to create an integrated approach to the development and provision of appropriately skilled social development workers. So with that in mind, I also wanted to say that the HWSETA is the Sector Education and Training Authority over the health and social development sectors in South Africa. And over many years, we have supported the social sector, and in particular through our strategic plans in line with our mandates, the Skills Development Acts, the National Skills Development Strategies and Plans, and our vision too is the National Development Plan of 2030 and the White Paper on Post-School Education and Training. So the HWSETA achieves its greatest impact through partnerships. In the field of child and youth care, the NACCW has been a long-standing key stakeholder and a valuable partner to mobilize impact in the area of child and youth care. So in particular, this year has been especially great in terms of marking the achievement relating to the awareness brought about by the SACSSP and the NACCW in acknowledging and bringing the contribution of child and youth care workers in our society and the economy to the attention of key stakeholders in government and the private sector. So well done for that. The HWSETA continues to support child and youth care under the level 4 and the level 5. The level 4 is a unit standard-based qualification, and the training is a 1-year training. And we have also offered RPL in this area over a period of time. We also quality assure child and youth care level 5. This is a new occupationally based qualification, and the period of learning is 1.5 years. We do not have RPL on this particular level at the moment, but it is well supported through various learnerships that the HWSETA provides. Just to also mention, the HWSETA will continue to support child and youth care through bursaries, diplomas, and degrees, and also lecturer development. The HWSETA wants to also acknowledge the challenges that the sector faces, and in particular, child and youth care workers. The intention of the HWSETA, of course, is skills interventions, developing a sustainable skills pipeline, and also looking at entry-level as well as high-level professional skills. We want to focus on, and we do focus on, work-integrated learning, development of the mid-level skills, and we look at skills gaps in the current workforce through our various research interventions, And we also want to ensure a skilled workforce for change in policy and service delivery in our country. We do this, of course, through very important partnerships, including the NACCW. And we also identify through our various research skills, priorities, and vital skills, scarce and critical skills needed in the economy. Over the period from 2011-2012 to 2019-20, we have supported 1,657 learners in child and youth care over all the provinces in South Africa, with a funding of almost 50 million rand. And we have, from our tracer studies, had success in this area. Of those learners that were supported, 51% gained employment, and in particular gained employment as child and youth care workers, and mainly in the NGO sector. So our support for our support to you as the HWSETA going forward, besides the interventions I have mentioned, is of course RPL. We have had great success in supporting child and youth care over the period, and especially in the area of RPL. And we will look to do this for level 4. And of course, we will have a look into the level 5 as well over the period to come. Furthermore, in the 21-22 financial year, we have just funded 100 child and youth care workers on an internship program for a period of 12 months in the KZN area as a pilot. We would have 2 child and youth care workers in 50 schools being accommodated. And these child and youth care workers will specifically, amongst other work, address bullying. So we look forward to the impact this will have. Furthermore, the HWSETA, included in this funding, has agreed to pay for the professional registration fees of these 100 child and youth care workers. Then going forward, the need for child and youth care workers is definitely underestimated. The work is at the forefront of our challenging times and can be that difference needed in the child's life that would determine his or her future path of hope and reconstruction. So as a country, we desperately need youth who will rise to make a better life for all. But if our youth are broken and not given the direction and support, what adults are we producing? So the theme this year of Champions of Hope in Challenging Times, indeed challenging times. And with that, the HWSETA, through its future plans, will continue to support child and youth care, mid-level skills levels, RPL, and professional levels of child and youth care. So from the HWSETA, we wish the NACCW a very successful conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Elaine Brown, for that message. Yes, we are all excited about the work done and about the conference itself. And we are all excited, and thank you for sharing your excitement about the success of this conference with us as well. And we also like to acknowledge that we are where we are today because of the support that we received from the SETA as the organization, as child and youth care workers, as the field, and as the profession. We really acknowledge and we appreciate. Thank you so much.
Dear friends and colleagues from South Africa, on behalf of your fellows, child and youth care workers in 40 countries, members of FICE International, and together with my Okay, now you hear me better? Elwin, do you hear me? So I would like to salute all of you and bring you our very best greetings and wishes for a great success of this conference and its theme, Child and Youth Care Workers, Champions of Hope in Challenging Times. We in FICE International have a very high appreciation to the achievements of child and youth care workers in South Africa in general, and to the activities of NACCW, which is also representing South Africa in FICE International. You are gathering in this 23rd Biennial Conference, which is taking place in a very special time, the world COVID-19 pandemics. I was so impressed while participating in your 22nd conference in Durban in 2019. Even if this is virtually, it shows the power and strong desire of child and youth care workers in South Africa to feel being close to one another and strengthening each other, especially in these challenging times. I want to congratulate my dear friends Elwin Gallant, Dr. Merle Alsop, Dr. Zeni Tumbatu, and Donald Nagayama. We are so proud of you. This is the main message I wanted to convey to you today in a loud and clear voice. The theme you have chosen for this conference is so true and so important. The stressful situation that the pandemic has brought us I'm just responding that my camera is on and I don't know why you don't see me. And I also don't see myself. So I'm talking about the theme you have chosen for this conference. It's so true and so important. The stressful situation that the pandemic has brought us are presenting an immense challenge for child and youth care workers in South Africa, but also all over the world. The pandemic has shown to the society how important is our profession. Through the heroic way child and youth care workers in South Africa and elsewhere have coped with these challenges, it could bring hope to children, hope to their families, and hope to the entire society. I want also to salute the participants of the NACCW Youth Conference that is meeting parallelly. The 100 young people from the different provinces of South Africa are meeting today to share their own views about the kind of services they receive and certainly also about what they are lacking. The theme chosen by the Youth Conference, Liberating Our Mind for a Better Nation, is also conveying a message of hope and commitment, not only to look on the interest of oneself, but also to feel responsible for your society, for your nation. Let me conclude by extending our best wishes for a great success for the double conferences. I would also like to extend my wishes that soon it would be possible to meet again face-to-face without going through virtual technologies and all the problems and challenges that it implies. From Jerusalem in the Holy Land where I live, I send you my love. God bless all of you and keep safe and healthy. Thank you very much. From Emmanuel Grupper, the President of FICE International. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Grupper. It's a pity that everybody couldn't see your face, but I think most of us and those that have seen you in 2019 at our conference here in Durban will know that you also came all the way from Israel to represent FICE International. Thank you for your words of encouragement, and indeed talking to our child and youth care workers that they are heroic and champions in dealing and managing the problems and challenges in this time of the pandemic. And we also wish you well in your task as President of FICE and in Israel, where you also render support and support families and children during this challenging times. Thank you very much for your time and being with us in this virtual conference.
Our next speaker, Dr. Miriam Mabetoa, who is our president. She is the president of South African Council for Social Services Professions, and we welcome you, Doctor.
Thank you very much, Program Directors, Mr. Edwin Gallant, with the Chairperson of the NACCW, and Ms. Sibongile Mzulwini, the KZN Regional Manager. And I also want to recognize all the office bearers of the NACCW. I would like to recognize here the Honorable, I see our ministers here, the Honorable Minister of Social Development, Ms. Lindiwe Zulu. Thank you very much for your support and presence in our SSP events. The Deputy President of the Council of the South African Council for Social Service Professions, Mr. Donald Ngonyama, the Chairperson of the Professional Board for Child and Youth Care Workers, Dr. Zeni Timbandu. And then I also want to recognize my fellow speakers who are sitting on the bench with me. It's a virtual bench. It's Dr. Don Mattera, the CYC-Net, Chief Operational Officer, Mr. Martin Stabrey, and Ms. Christina Gibson, the Regional Manager of the Adoptionscentrum student, and Mr. Simon Peter Otieno from FICE Africa, and from FICE International, Professor Emmanuel, just spoke now, Grupper, and then Ms. Elaine Brass, the Chief Executive Officer of HWSETA. The councillors benefited quite a lot from our relationship with the HWSETA in terms of training of our staff and the social service profession. And we also have Ms. Christina Muhigana from a country representative from UNICEF, and thank you UNICEF for your support to the council. And we also have the Commissioner Fatima Chohan, the Deputy Chairperson of the South African Human Rights Commission. Yes, thank you very much for being here, my fellow speakers. I also want to recognize the senior officials in government, ladies and gentlemen, and all the young people, child and youth care workers who are here, and social service professionals. On behalf of the South African Council for Social Service Profession, I would like to congratulate you on holding this virtual, conference against all odds, which are related to the constraints and the new ways of doing business because of the pandemic. We also wish to congratulate the National Association for Child and Youth Care Workers for hosting this conference every second year without fail. And even during the COVID, the conference is going on. This conference is one of the important calendar events for child and youth care workers. Therefore, the sector must continue hosting it. FICE should be thanked for choosing South Africa for this conference. When the conference was announced at one of our council meetings, there was an agreement that we should embrace it as an important social service professionals event by showing visible support through attendance, irrespective of the profession that we belong to. So I believe that a number of us who are attending this conference come from the social work and for the community development sectors. To be a formidable social service professionals or professions, we need to have strong child and youth care workers and social workers in the sector, working and supporting one another. And being in this conference is one of those supports that we are providing. In order to improve on our practice and knowledge system, we need to continuously share recent research findings and best practices in our professions. In the Council, we also believe that sharing such knowledge amongst ourselves across all relevant professions provide us with the opportunity to appreciate, respect, and learn from one another. Most of all, there's a need to improve the integrated and multi-sectoral approaches amongst social service professionals. Our efforts to deal with the devastating impact of COVID-19 has taught us that the integrated approach is crucial for successful interventions for our work with communities, with families, children, and individuals, especially in dealing with poverty, gender-based violence, and child protection. And conferences of this nature are also important today, as we have discovered in the midst of COVID, that some of our old ways of doing things are no longer practical or safe. We have seen with the memoriam a number of child and youth care workers who have died. And because we were just starting last year with the being affected by COVID and the safety measures were not properly applied, and hence we have lost so many of our SSP officials in government and in the NGO sector. The introduction of the post-revolution mechanisms is also becoming imperative. Academics, researchers, practitioners have started sharing new skills and new practices that are relevant and need to be shared at conferences such as this one. The South African Council for Social Service Professions, ladies and gentlemen, is very much in support of the child and youth care work sector. We are doing this through our statutory mandates of registration of practitioners, ensuring good quality education and training for practitioners and students, and professional conduct services. The Professional Board for Child and Youth Care Workers is a critical partner in the delivery of these services. The Registrar, Ms. Langi Malamba, and Dr. Zeni Tumbadu will explain how a lot of ground has been covered, especially in the recent past, to open doors that have been closed for a long time due to lack of understanding or knowledge with regard to the value of child and youth care workers in our society. This also became clearer during the level 4 and 5 lockdowns in our country, because essential workers had to make sacrifices to remain available to children and families. But most of all, those who work in child and youth care centers, such as the child and youth care workers, had to go to work while we were locked down at home, and they took risks with their lives. and their families as well. Personally, I've been very fortunate to be part of this conference for a number of years. This is the third conference as a member of council that I'm attending. And there were several times when I was working for the Department of Social Development as a Chief Director for Children and the Deputy Director General for Welfare Services that I attended this conference. So I can't even count how many times I've attended and spoken as well at this conference. Even when I had left the department, I still received invitation as an honorary delegate. So thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for allowing me into your space to learn a lot about the sector. But I've also seen the conference growing from strength to strength in numbers, in resilience, and of course, enthusiasm, which is an inspiring and a signature of the sector. We know there are many challenges in the sector, but you know, the sector, the enthusiasm in the sector doesn't really fail to impress you. We hope this year, with all its constraints, you'll be able to inspire many young and old members of this profession. We thank every organization and individuals here at home and internationally who've made this conference possible. The Council wishes you a successful conference, and we look forward to papers and programs that will be shared at this conference, as well as the resolutions that will be the outcome of the conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam President, for embracing us on behalf of the South African Council for Social Service Professions, and also sharing with us the well wishes and the statutory mandate of Council. We also know that the Registrar, Ms. Langi Malamba, will later on also share with us about registration, and we're thankful that we understand that the professional registration of child and youth care work and promoting multidisciplinary teams is near to your heart. And thank you for the leadership from your side on behalf of the social service professions. Thank you. We would now like to move on to our country representative from UNICEF, Ms. Christina Muhigana. We've baptized her as Christine, but we want to give her name back to her again as Christina, and we want to say welcome. And we also would like to listen then to your word and message of support for this conference. Welcome.
Thank you, Program Director. Can you confirm that you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Thank you.
Thank you. Your Excellency, Minister for Social Development, Ms. Lindiwe Zulu, Mr. Gallant and Ms. Mzulwini, Program Directors, Don Mattera, NACCW's Patron, delegates from all over the world, delegates from South Africa, and young people. I'm greeting you from Pretoria. And before I start my message of support, I wanted to present my sincere condolences to all the fallen heroes whose names were shown to us in the moving slideshow at the beginning of this event. May they all rest in peace. I'm delighted to be here with you this morning to share a message of appreciation and support to the organizing team from the NACCW, colleagues from the Department of Social Development, the Council of Social Service Professionals, and CYC-Net for this NACCW 23rd Biennial Youth Conference. I'm also honored to be here with 1,500 or more than 1,500 delegates from so many different countries and continents, and with representatives from South Africa's youth to discuss champions of hope during challenging times, the child and youth care workers. Since our last conference in 2019, we have lived through extremely challenging times. Children and youth across the world have been affected by the broad-ranging impact of COVID-19 on childhood and on opportunities as young people transition into adulthood. Children are experiencing worsened deprivations, educational losses, anxiety, and distress as a result of school closing down, parents and caregivers losing livelihoods, and also through the loss of loved ones due to COVID and other illnesses. It is during these challenging times that the child and youth care workers have demonstrated extraordinary resilience and further reiterated, if it was indeed needed, its importance for the most vulnerable children at all times. We salute you all, child and youth care workers, for finding a way to support the most vulnerable children in every way possible during these pandemic times, through mobile devices, through WhatsApp, other virtual platforms, and even household visits in the most difficult circumstances, where you continue to go out of your way and also at your own risk. You have acted as an extended family to support children in times of need, with the return to schools, to access health services, to provide psychosocial support and child protection services. We all work together to aspire to a world and a South Africa free from poverty, inequality, and violence against children. A world in which children can grow up with dignity, with laughter and respect. A world in which a child is just a child and his or her rights are fully embraced. It is important to note this conference is being held virtually for the first time in history, as you were saying, program directors. And yet, we still continue to come together, whether virtually and on the ground. The Child and Youth Care Worker is part of the Isibindi program, which was designed 18 years ago in response to the HIV crisis, which resulted in so many orphans. Today, the program is called RISIHA, and Madam Minister, I'm so happy that we were at the launch of this important renamed program recently. The role of the child and youth care workers through home visits, in safe parks, in schools, health centers, in secondment to courts, have led to impressive results for vulnerable and marginalized children. Through research and evaluations, we have learned about and seen the real impact that child and youth care work has had in the life space of the most vulnerable children. Through the child and youth care workers, children are benefiting from child support grants. They have access to ID documents. They have access to health services and to education. Child and youth care workers provide psychosocial support, nutrition, and budgeting advice to families directly. The work of the Department of Social Development, Department of Basic Education, Department of Health, and NACCW deserve to be recognized for this vital role in the lives of vulnerable children. for child and youth-headed households, children on the move, the migrants and other refugees, and also other vulnerable children. There is really no one else who can play the critical role that you are playing. UNICEF has been supporting the development of the child and youth care workforce for many years, and we're really proud to be associated to this work. Excellency, Madam Minister, all participants, it is our true honor at UNICEF to speak at the opening of this important conference, and we wish you an inspiring and productive two-day conference. I look forward to hearing the youth voices and also to reading and seeing the overall outcome of this conference. Siyabonga.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ms. Christine, for that so informed and at the same time touching message in a way. We can hear from your support that the core message says we are here together. We are in this together wherever we are, and we can feel that kind of support as NACCW and as social services practitioners. We really appreciate, and we can also feel that we are saying together the same message, that if we were so shaken by this COVID-19 as adults, then how about our children? And we agree that we are still putting our children at the center. Thank you very much. Then moving to our next speaker, we're moving to the Commissioner, Fatima Chohan, the Deputy Chairperson of South African Human Rights Commission. We are so grateful to have you, Commissioner. Welcome.
Thank you very much, and good morning to everybody present. Thank you for inviting the South African Human Rights Commission to your conference today and allowing us to deliver our message of support, as well as allowing us to participate in this very important gathering. Ladies and gentlemen, the impact of COVID-19 on children's rights cannot be overemphasized. The pandemic has ongoing, far-reaching, and sometimes devastating effects on children and their families. Many children have during this time lost a parent or a caregiver, and some have unfortunately also been orphaned, implicating their right to family care. Population lockdowns have directly affected children's enjoyment of their rights, most notably the right to education due to closures of schools during the lockdowns. The real-time monitoring tool, which not only monitored the impact of COVID-19 lockdowns on child well-being, but also worked to meet their diverse needs, is to be applauded. This project was commissioned by the Department of Social Development of South Africa in collaboration with UNICEF, identified and provided support to children who were at high risk of hunger, violence, abuse, and neglect. This initiative is to be lauded. The tool enabled the creation of a care plan for individual children and provides for the ongoing tracking of cases. Importantly, the tool has captured data on children with disabilities, with early screening and referral to specialized services. It is admirable to see child and youth care workers and social workers working together in the interests of children. The South African Human Rights Commission believes that such collaborations bode well for the protection of children's rights. The South African Human Rights Commission sends its greetings to all of you who have dedicated yourselves to our children, the children of the world. It extends its support to the NACCW's 23rd biannual virtual conference, which seeks to link the local child and youth care profession with a worldwide network of practitioners to share cutting-edge interventions and innovations in working with children and families in these challenging times. It is our hope that your deliberations will achieve their intended aim to promote quality services for vulnerable children, youth, and their families in South Africa, the continent, and globally. I thank you very much.